Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to formally welcome Alex McLeish as the new manager of Nottingham Forest. Alex.
Hey guys.
Alex, Colin Frey from BBC. How surprised, first of all, might you be to inherit a championship club a point off the playoffs?
Well, it's a terrific opportunity, to come to a club of Nottingham Forest's magnitude, and it's always nice to get a job. Normally, if you're out of work and then you're waiting and somebody maybe in a bit of difficulty, and it's not the case with this particular job, and it looks an absolutely wonderful challenge for me.
Alex, it all seems to happen very, very quickly. Less than 24 hours after Sean O'Driscoll.
I can assure you it did, yeah.
Was it the same for you, or did you hear about this in advance?
Whirlwind, absolute whirlwind, and it was a surprise, but a very welcome surprise.
What do you feel you can achieve here?
Well, we, as you said, we're 1 point off the playoffs, so we've got to try and target getting into that top six and ultimately gunning for the Premier League.
I mean, has that been made very clear to you? It's clearly, we see Sean O'Driscoll being sacked when they're a point outside the playoffs and think the owners really want promotion this year. They want it now, they want it immediately, but the time frame seems to have been shrunk. Is that something you've been told, and does that give you an awful lot of pressure to be working under?
No, I've not been told that. I think what we want to see is Forest mounting a very serious challenge in the proceedings, and that will be my goal, working with the team, working with the staff. There's a good bunch of players there, they play some good football, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Did you feel you had to drop into the Championship maybe to start your career again a little bit? And I wonder whether that freshness helps you a little bit after the difficult time you had at Villa and the relegation battles you had for 2 seasons at the end of the Premier League. It must be quite nice to be challenging at the top of the division, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, any of the clubs, the previous clubs that I worked with were fantastic clubs, and they were fantastic challenges as well. And to be honest, I took those jobs on when they were in a bit of difficulty. So it was the goal was to try and get them into a position of relative safety. It was, as you said rightly, a difficult job at Villa last season, but it was one that I met head on, and in the end it was great to get them over the line despite the catalogue of horrors we had there.
In hindsight, was that an unworkable job for you, coming from Birmingham City? You wouldn't say so at the time to us, but I wonder now.
No, I don't regret anything. I don't think you should regret anything, and I'm here to talk about Nottingham Forest, and I would like to concentrate on Forest, if you don't mind.
How difficult a job, Alex, do you think it is? It's at your club now, but I wonder at any club how difficult for you, if promotion is the aim, to walk in the middle of the season. You've got 22 games to achieve it, albeit you're in a good position at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always a difficulty of any challenge that you approach, but I have to get the very best out of the players, which is a manager's job. And as I said, we do have a good bunch of players. There's some real quality in the dressing room, and if they continue to show me that quality and they show that they're willing to really work their socks off for Nottingham Forest, then they'll have a chance of playing in the team without question.
You've clearly had success in the Championship before, Alex. You know what it takes to take a team out of this division. What does it take? What's the key?
Well, the key is to get in a succession of winning games. If you can gather as many points as possible and get a lot of wins out of those, I think the consistency of winning is vital to getting promotion in this Championship division. I had obviously that opportunity with Birmingham. We managed to get back at the first time of asking, but it wasn't without its difficulties. But at the same time, we done enough to get over that line, and there's is a fantastic opportunity for many clubs, not just Forest, but there are great opportunities for a good number of clubs, and everybody will be bursting to get to the Premier League.
Alex Mark off from the Central News. Spoke to a couple of fans on the way in, and they expressed some surprise. A couple said, you wouldn't have been their first choice, but obviously they're going to wait to see the results. How are you going to ensure that you get the fans behind you after the difficulties at Villa?
Well, winning games is obviously something that helps to get fans behind you. I know that in any given job, it's not as if I'm Jose Mourinho walking in here and it would be a unanimously popular decision. I think at times you have to realise that some fans maybe not with you in the beginning, but if we can win games, if the team can produce the football they produced against Leeds in the second half the other day, then there's no reason why we can't get everybody singing from the same sheet.
You were training with the squad earlier. What were your first impressions today?
Yeah, the guys the banter was good. You could see a spring in their step, I think probably due to the confidence they took from the victory in midweek.
Thank you.
It seems January might be important. I suppose January, Alex, is always important. And it's only obviously a few days away. Maybe you've got some quick decisions to be made, but have you been given any indication of how much or if any kind of money there is to be spent in January on improving the squad?
Yeah, we've discussed improving the squad. We will be looking closely at that with the staff and the recruitment side of the club. So there's no doubt that we are trying to bolster the squad and make it stronger for the running.
I suppose that's one of the difficulties, is it, of coming in so close to January? Do you have to make those decisions perhaps more quickly than you might want to?
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. We will have to really be doing our homework over the next week or so.
Is there part of you, Alex, that's a little bit mindful of the fact there's been a lot of changes at Nottingham Forest in recent times? 14 new players that Sean O'Driscoll brought in the summer. They're still bedding into a large extent. Is there part of you that thinks, I can't bring too many more new faces in to unbalance it further in the middle of the season?
No, I think we'll trade carefully. There's no way I'm going to bring in another 10 players per se, but we certainly look at certain positions, and if we need to reinforce those positions, and if we can target a player who can maybe make a big difference in the games ahead, then we can't ignore that.
Have the last 7 months been useful for you, or have you been chomping at the bit at the very moment you left Villa to get back into football?
No, I wasn't chomping at the bit to get back in. I did need that break, but I've enjoyed the break, and I've been a professional supporter for the last 7 months. I've watched a lot of games, including Forest. I've been at a few abroad, Champions League games, and it's very important that you keep your finger on the pulse, and that's what I've done.
It's pretty clear as well that the owners of Nottingham Forest that share your ambition. They want this club to be in the Premier League. You want to be managing in the Premier League again, and there's quite a nice match there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always great when everybody's together and they have the one goal, and that'll be a huge ambition for me this season.
Would you not have dropped down to the Championship if you didn't believe they could get back into the Premier League pretty quickly?
No, I don't think it's all taken in that one decision. We looked at the project that the club have in mind, and also the fact that they are nearer the top than at the bottom. I've had a couple of offers, I must admit, that I didn't feel were the right challenges for me. So the Forest one was.
Can I ask you about your backroom staff? Obviously Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank and Rob Kelly are here from before Sean O'Driscoll's period. Will they be staying, or are you looking at Peter Grant and Kevin McDonald? What's your thoughts?
I don't plan to make changes. We've got some good staff in here, and I expect Peter Grant to join us.
What are your impressions of the owners? You've obviously met them, and by bringing you in like this so dramatically and quickly, they obviously want you here, but what is your impression of them, and what can you promise the fans?
Well, when you meet somebody for the first time, then you obviously get first impressions, and mine were very good. It was very positive. They felt I was the right man for the job, so obviously that gives you the confidence to take on the job. And the message to the fans is get right behind the team and let's see if they can roar Nottingham Forest to the Premier League.
It has been a period of instability over the last 48 hours though for them. You know, what can you say to reassure them about that, and what have you been promised from the owners?
Well, the only thing that I can promise you is that we will get the very best out of the players that we have, and we will try and help those players, the current players, by adding one or two faces, if we can, to mount a serious challenge. And the response from the players this morning was excellent. You know, it's a cruel business when you get into the coaching and management side of things, and the attrition rate for managers and coaches losing their jobs. It's one of these things. But I said to the players that, you know, you guys are in the best part of the job, and that is being footballers. So don't waste a minute. So hopefully we can get the right responses from the guys, and psychologically we work with them as well as physically, and we know that there's some good quality in the dressing room.
Are you excited about the challenge? Because I guess a lot of managers come into clubs when teams are in a mess. It's a totally different ball game here. I mean, you've 1 point off the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm excited about it. Yes, absolutely. It was one that as soon as I got the phone call, I was really up for the job.